Back to reality, my friends. This is what we're used to. And I'm smiling, but it's only because I don't want to cry. Today was straight up ugly. The game, the loss, the weather, the special teams, the whole damn thing. Oh, and speaking of ugly, did I mention that 4th and 1 that Kevin Stefanski tried to get cute on their end of the field? Embarrassing, shameful, terrible, and a bunch of words I can't say here on a news station, okay, even on the internet.
I'm going to say it again. Kevin Stefanski must be fired. I'm going to say it again and again and again. Kevin Stefanski did not want Shedeur Sanders, didn't even want him in the 5th round. Kevin Stefanski has done everything in his power to keep Shedeur Sanders from succeeding in Cleveland as a 5th round pick against all odds. You just couldn't stand to see Shedeur tie the game. You couldn't stand to have to stand up there after the game and answer questions about what you've been doing to Shedeur, how you have been sabotaging, how you've been trying to stunt the kid's growth.
Back to reality. Spill News family. And trust me, this one cuts deep. Because if you thought you'd seen the Browns choke before, think again. Today wasn't a loss, it was a public execution. A collapse so violent the internet stopped clowning and started asking, "Bro, did we just witness sabotage on live TV?" This is Spill News, where secrets explode before your eyes. And today's explosion has one name written all over it. Kevin freaking Stefanski. While Shedeur Sanders played the game of his young life, dropping 364 yards like it was nothing, the man paid to protect him left him out there to bleed. And when the entire stadium held its breath, waiting for Sanders to tie the game, Stefanski pulled him off the field like a villain in a bad movie. A wildcat call, a brick wall, and a meltdown that shook the AFC North. Fans were screaming. Bro said too much and they got him. And honestly, the internet couldn't believe it, and you won't either. Because the real story behind this collapse, the sabotage, the ego, the receipts, gets uglier than anything you saw on that field. Let's break it all down. The collapse didn't begin with the 4th quarter. It didn't begin with a failed wildcat call. It didn't even begin with the first snap of the game where 2 Titans defenders ran untouched through Brown's offensive line like they were invited guests at a backyard barbecue. No, this story starts long before that. It starts in meeting rooms, in draft rooms, in private conversations the public was never supposed to hear. Conversations where one man's ego quietly poisoned an entire franchise, where one decision after another slowly built the foundation for the meltdown the world witnessed today. Because what you saw on the field wasn't an accident.
Shedeur Sanders just played by far his best game as a pro. He just threw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns and led the Browns in rushing and scored a rushing touchdown from 7 yards.
It wasn't a coincidence. And it damn sure wasn't just football. It was a final act of a storyline the Browns organization refused to acknowledge. A storyline where the villain wasn't wearing shoulder pads. He was wearing a headset. Kevin Stefanski. For months, whispers leaked out of Berea. Subtle, quiet, easily dismissed at first. Rumors that Stefanski wasn't thrilled about the 5th round pick the Browns front office took at quarterback. That he didn't want a young, hungry rookie behind center. That he didn't believe in Shedeur Sanders. Didn't see him as a leader. Didn't see him as the spark this franchise desperately needed. But like every scandal in the NFL, it started as a miscommunication, then a misunderstanding, then a nothing burger, until today when it all snapped into focus. Teammates kept hinting that something felt off. Reporters noticed the body language, the way Stefanski praised everyone except the rookie who was carrying the offense, the way he'd talk about Sanders like he was a temporary inconvenience, not the quarterback pulling the team out of the mud week after week. Even the fan base felt it months ago, typing the same thing on forums, Reddit threads, and late-night Browns Twitter. Why does it feel like Stefanski hates this kid? But nobody could prove it. Nobody had receipts. Nobody had any real evidence. Until the season started, and signs began appearing like blinking hazard lights in the middle of the highway. Bad play calling at the worst moments. Running plays on obvious passing downs. Conservative calls when Sanders was heating up. Wild, unnecessary risks when the rookie was already under pressure. It was as if Stefanski went out of his way to make Sanders look small, unprepared, not ready. But even then, Sanders refused a break. He showed up to OTAs earlier than everybody, stayed later than everybody, took the reps other quarterbacks avoided, studied film like the team's Wi-Fi bill depended on it. Coaches talked about off the record, they'd never seen a rookie this obsessed with getting better. And that obsession paid off. Because when the season began, Sanders wasn't just good. He wasn't just promising. He was different. Every week, he made throws he had no business making. Every week, he dragged a flawed roster further than anyone expected. Every week, he built trust with receivers who have been sleepwalking for years. And every week, Browns fans saw a glimpse, just a glimpse, of the franchise quarterback they have been praying for since 1999. A savior in cleats, play behind a shaky line, with a coaching staff that looked allergic to helping him. And when a team finds a quarterback with that kind of fire, real leaders protect him, real coaches support him, real organizations invest in him. But not Stefanski. He coached Sanders like he was waiting, almost hoping for things to fall apart, calling plays that made no sense for a mobile, rhythm-based quarterback, refusing to let him audible, refusing to adjust the offense to the one style Sanders thrived in during college: tempo, momentum, fast reads, quick decisions. Instead, he jammed him into a slow, rigid system that sucked the oxygen out of games. But even that couldn't stop Sanders. Which brings us to today. The snow, the cold, the Titans walking in with a 1-11 record and zero expectations. This was supposed to be the Browns' get-right game, their moment of domination, their chance to put the AFC on notice. But from the moment the opening kickoff sailed into the sky, something felt wrong. The Titans returned it to the 15. First play, -4 yards. Second play, pressure. Third play, total disaster. Two Titans defenders stormed through untouched and blasted Sanders in the end zone like it was rehearsed. A safety before Cleveland even touched the scoreboard. Fans shrugged at first. Bad start, but we'll recover. Except the dysfunction snowballed. A false start, a sack, a punt that went nowhere.
Just led an 80-yard drive in 7 plays to put them within striking distance 31.
The Titans marched down the field like they were playing a practice squad. Before you knew it, it was 14-3, then 21-10, then 24-13. But Sanders, he didn't fold. He didn't panic. He didn't stare down the sidelines in confusion. He went to work. Laser throws, touch passes, frozen rope bullets between defenders, reads that seasoned veterans struggle with, a rushing touchdown that looked like something out of a highlight reel. By halftime, one thing was undeniable. The Browns weren't in this game because of Stefanski. They were in it in spite of him. And that's where the emotional fracture began. Teammates noticed it first. The disbelief in Sanders' eyes each time Stefanski pulled him aside and gave him those robotic, condescending lectures. The tension during timeouts. The refusal to let the rookie call plays he was comfortable with. You could feel the frustration radiating off Sanders like heat off asphalt. But he kept his head down, stayed locked in. He wasn't just auditioning for Stefanski. He was auditioning for the league. And he delivered. Then came the throw, the one everyone is replaying right now. A rainbow arc, perfect placement, Fannin catching it like it was dropped from heaven. A touchdown that brought Cleveland within striking distance. The stadium exploded. Energy surged. Cameras caught Sanders screaming in triumph. Teammates grabbing him, lifting him, believing in him the way Stefanski never did. 31-29. 2-point conversion needed. A chance to tie. A chance to flip momentum. A chance to win in overtime. Fans leaned forward. The team waited. Sanders stood ready, breathing hard, but focused, calm, dangerous. And then Stefanski waved him off the field. A collective gasp, a moment of pure confusion. A betrayal so loud it echoed. Sanders walked toward the sideline, stunned, angry, lost.
Again, for the potential tying two-point conversion, going with the Wildcat. It was a disaster. After Shedeur had shown again and again, he's the answer in the red zone for the Cleveland.
The Wildcat formation trotted onto the field. Everyone in the stadium knew what was coming. The Titans knew. The fans knew. Sanders knew. And yet, Stefanski ran it anyway. Judkins took the snap, ran straight into a cement wall. Stuffed. Game over. Hope dead. But what came next, even his enemies didn't expect. What came next, even his enemies didn't expect. Because the fallout from that failed Wildcat wasn't just frustration or boos or angry tweets. It was an eruption, a volcanic explosion of rage, confusion, disbelief, and betrayal that swept across Cleveland like a winter storm with no mercy. Fans weren't simply upset. They were convinced they had just watched their head coach deliberately sabotage the team on national television. And when millions of people arrive at the same conclusion at the same time, the internet does what it always does. It detonates. Within minutes, clips of Sanders being pulled from the field were everywhere. Slow motion edits, zoomed in facial reactions, lip-reading breakdowns of Stefanski's sideline conversations, TikTok narrations with dramatic music, fan cam angles showing Sanders mouthing the words, "Let me run it," before being ignored. Football analysts paused mid-segment on live streams because they couldn't process why a head coach would do something so baffling with the game on the line. And then the real bomb started dropping, the leaks. A screenshot appeared on Reddit, supposedly a leaked message from an assistant coach. This wasn't a mistake. He didn't trust him. He never has. The post blew up instantly. Then came a fake leaked DM shared by a popular Browns fan page. Sanders had a two-point look he practiced all week. Stefanski shut it down, said, "Not running that." Whether real or not didn't matter. It felt real. It matched what fans have been sensing for months. Resentment between coach and quarterback. Then a local blogger uploaded what they claimed was an anonymous text from someone inside the organization. Shatter wanted to stay in. Kevin overruled everybody. Whole sideline was confused. Another account shared audio labeled Berea Hot Mic, in which a voice supposedly belonging to a frustrated staffer said, "He doesn't want that kid succeeding, not under him." It didn't matter whether any of it was true. It fit the narrative fans already believed. And when a narrative feels emotionally accurate, it becomes accepted as truth. Sports radio hosts jumped in like sharks who smell blood. One said, "I've never seen a coach undermine his quarterback so blatantly." Another said, "This might be career-ending. You don't do this to your team, not when your guy is playing a game of his life." A third host went viral for shouting, "If this isn't sabotage, then what the hell do you call it?" By the time press conferences started, the city was in full meltdown mode. Stefanski walked up to the podium with that calm, robotic expression that has annoyed fans for years. He said the words he always says, "We like the look, we felt good about the call, execution needs to improve." Not one mention of why he removed Sanders. Not one acknowledgement of the emotion gripping the locker room. Not a single shred of accountability. And when a reporter asked him directly, "Why didn't Shatter run the conversion?" Stefanski dodged it like a politician under oath. But Sanders? He walked up looking like a man who had swallowed a storm. Calm on the outside, shattered on the inside. He gave a measured, respectful answer. Because he always does, but the pain behind his eyes told a different story. "Coach made a decision," he said. "I'm here to execute whatever I'm asked to do." But when a reporter pressed again, asking if he wanted the ball in his hands, a small, tight smile flickered across his face before he answered, "Of course, I'm the quarterback." Those 5 words sent the internet into orbit. Then came the clip no one was prepared for. A video leaked from inside the tunnel. Sanders, helmet in hand, pacing, shaking his head, saying quietly but clearly, "I had it. I had it." A teammate tried to console him, placing a hand on his shoulder. Another player walked by muttering, "Man, we should have let you cook." A third voice, unidentified, whispered, "He did you wrong." And in that moment, Browns fans didn't just sympathize with Sanders. They adopted him fully as their quarterback, their leader, their guy. And when a city chooses its quarterback, the coach becomes disposable. Inside the locker room, tension was thick enough to slice. You could feel in the silence, the fractured looks, the hushed conversations. One player reportedly told a beat writer off the record, "We're riding with Shatter. Whatever happens next isn't on him." Another player tweeted, then deleted a cryptic message. "Trust lost is trust earned never again." Sports detectives online immediately declared it was shade aimed at Stefanski. Meanwhile, national media picked up the story. Talking heads debated whether Stefanski had sabotaged Sanders intentionally. A former NFL quarterback said on air, "Don't pull a hot rookie off a field unless you're trying to make a statement." And it wasn't a good one. Another analyst added, "This wasn't just a bad decision. This was a betrayal." The Browns front office felt the pressure instantly. Calls poured in from angry season ticket holders. Radio stations filled with fans demanding Stefanski's firing. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag let Shatter cook. Hashtag fire Stefanski tonight. Hashtag sabotaging Cleveland. Every major sports outlet ran headlines like, "Rookie outplays coach. Did Stefanski cost Cleveland a game?" Shatter Sanders breaks out, but is his own coach holding him back? Even celebrities jumped in. A well-known former player tweeted, "If my coach benched me in that moment, we'd be having a conversation in the locker room." Another wrote, "Give that kid the ball, period." Then came the most damning leak yet. A screenshot of an alleged scouting report circulated widely. Supposedly written by Stefanski during draft season, it read, "Sanders lacks leadership intangibles. Development risk. Would not draft. Whether fake or real didn't matter." The city believed it. It fit the story too perfectly. And the final blow came from a viral post claiming that during the draft, Stefanski argued against taking Sanders even in the 5th round. According to the supposed leaked transcript, he allegedly said, "We don't need a project. We need someone who fits my system." Fans interpreted this as, he never wanted Sanders, and now he's proving it. Momentum swung fully against Stefanski. The locker room looked fractured. The city was furious. Analysts circled like vultures. And Sanders, despite being the rookie, the underdog, the one nobody believed in, had become the only stable pillar of the entire organization. But just when we thought the scandal had reached peak chaos, another name came up. A name no one expected. And the twist it brought with it didn't just shift the story, it set the entire league on fire. Another name came up. A name no one expected. A name that instantly shifted the entire narrative from Stefanski versus Sanders to something far bigger, far older, and far messier than anyone realized. Because suddenly insiders weren't just talking about who sabotaged a 2-point conversion. They were talking about front office politics. They were talking about hidden alliances. They were talking about a shadow figure inside the Browns organization who'd been quietly influencing decisions long before Sanders was drafted. That name was Cam Ward, the former #1 overall pick, the golden child. The quarterback scouts drooled over. The player analysts promised would change a franchise overnight. And the player many believed Cleveland originally wanted before things fell apart in the draft. Suddenly insiders began whispering, "This isn't just about a failed play. This is about a long, bitter power struggle at quarterback that never died." According to multiple anonymous sources, Stefanski had been obsessed with Cam Ward long before Sanders' name ever entered the conversation. When Ward was drafted by Tennessee, Stefanski reportedly told staffers, "That's the kind of quarterback you build around." When Sanders fell to the 5th round, whispers claimed Stefanski shrugged and said, "We'll see what he is." Insiders claimed Ward was his blueprint, and Sanders was his inconvenience. So when Sanders completely outplayed Cam Ward today, doubling, tripling his numbers, embarrassing him statistically, every insecurity, every frustration, every buried resentment resurfaced like a wildfire exposed to oxygen. Suddenly, it wasn't just a game. It was a personal loss for Stefanski. The rookie, he didn't want to just show the world that the quarterback he admired was not him. Fan analysts began splicing together old interviews. One clip resurfaced from months earlier where Stefanski said he preferred structured, predictable passers who operate within design. Another clip showed Sanders saying, "I'm at my best when I'm allowed to improvise." Fans connected the dots instantly. He didn't bench Sanders because he didn't trust him. One viral tweet said, he benched him because he doesn't like quarterbacks like Sanders. The Titans didn't help matters either. Their players openly mocked Sanders' signature celebration after scoring early in the game, but even they were forced to respect him later when he shredded their defense for 364 yards. One Titans defender told reporters, that kid kept coming. He didn't flinch. Another said, he's better than people think. And yet, while the opposing team acknowledged Sanders, his own coach refused to. In the days after the game, leaked audio allegedly surfaced from deep inside the Browns' locker room. Angry voices, heavy footsteps, a frustrated veteran yelling, "You don't do that to your QB." Another voice responding, "He lost us the game, not Sanders." Whether staged or real didn't matter. It felt real. It matched the emotion already boiling over. But the twist wasn't over. Not even close. Because late that night, a Cleveland reporter posted a cryptic message. This goes higher than Stefanski. Fans exploded with theories. Ownership interference? Front office sabotage? An agent playing politics behind the scenes? The next morning, a major leak hit social media. A supposed text exchange between a Browns executive and a mysterious third party. If Sanders succeeds, the entire QB strategy of the past 3 years collapses. Optics matter. Keeping control matters more. Suddenly, Stefanski wasn't just seen as sabotaging Sanders. He was seen as executing a plan he didn't create. A soldier carrying out someone else's orders. A pawn in a larger chessboard where Sanders' success threatened the credibility of decisions made long before he arrived. National reporters latched onto that narrative quickly. Is the Browns' front office divided on Sanders? Did someone instruct Stefanski to limit his role? Is this a repeat of the Baker Mayfield-era politics? Even major sports networks ran segments asking whether the organization was self-destructing from the inside. Again, meanwhile, Sanders kept his head down. He showed up to practice, answered questions with professionalism, focused on football. But teammates spoke louder for him. A star receiver posted, "We know who our leader is." A tight end wrote, "Riding with 12." A defensive captain tweeted a single word, "Respect." And then came the moment that shook Cleveland sports media. A leak from inside the Titans locker room. Audio of a Titans coach telling his players post-game, "They gave us that 2-point conversion. Kid was carving us up. We got lucky." That clip spread like wildfire. Fans were furious. Analysts were stunned. Even rival teams accidentally confirmed what Cleveland fans already believed. Sanders should have taken that snap. The Browns front office released a statement trying to smother the flames. "We support Coach Stefanski. We support Shatter Sanders. We are united." But fans weren't buying it. Radio hosts weren't buying it. Former players weren't buying it. And then the final straw snapped. A trusted Cleveland insider tweeted, "Don't be surprised if changes come sooner than expected." Suddenly, everyone expected Stefanski to be fired within hours. Rumors circulated about an emergency meeting between ownership and the coaching staff. A local journalist claimed the locker room had lost trust. Another insider suggested Sanders was being privately consoled by members of management who believed he had been wronged. Even league executives reportedly contacted the Browns asking, "What happened?" But the real emotional punch came from Sanders himself. In a post-practice interview, voice soft, controlled but wounded, he said, "I'm here to help the team win. That's all I've ever wanted. I don't control decisions. I just play." His eyes told the rest. You could hear the heartbreak. You could see the frustration simmering just below the surface. A young quarterback, performing beyond expectations, yet shackled by decisions he didn't make. And that's when fans realized something even deeper. This wasn't just about a failed play. This wasn't about a game. This wasn't even about Stefanski. This was about a franchise choking the life out of its own potential. Again, a pattern Cleveland has lived through too many times. Talented players wasted by bad leadership, momentum destroyed by ego, hope suffocated by politics. The story took its darkest turn when another leak, supposedly from inside ownership circles, suggested that Sanders' rise threatened the reputations of people who previously drafted quarterbacks who failed. If he's great, the leak said, it exposes everyone who doubted him. And suddenly the sabotage theory wasn't just emotional. It was logical, because nothing terrifies insecure executives more than a player succeeding without their approval. The Browns insisted everything was fine. Stefanski insisted the call was analytics-based. But fans knew better. Teammates knew better. Analysts knew better. Even rival defenders knew better. Sanders wasn't held back by his talent. He was held back by the people supposed to support him. And that's why the final twist hit so hard. 2 days after the loss, amid the chaos and finger-pointing, Sanders quietly disappeared from the spotlight. No interviews, no posts, no comments. Teammates said he left the facility early. Staffers said he seemed distant. Rumors swirled that he needed time to process everything. The betrayal, the politics, the pressure. He vanished, but the secret stayed. And there you have it. The truth behind one of the ugliest, most baffling collapses the Browns have delivered in years. A meltdown that wasn't just about missed tackles, bad weather, or unlucky bounces, but about politics, ego, betrayal, and a young quarterback who deserved better than the chaos swirling around him. You watched it. You felt it. You saw the moment the stadium held its breath, waiting for Sanders to finish the comeback he fought for with every throw, only to be yanked off the field like he never mattered. This wasn't just a coaching mistake. This was a message, intentional or not, and the fallout will echo far beyond one loss. Inside the locker room, inside the front office, inside the league. Because when a rookie outplays expectations, outshines the script and threatens a narrative, some people panic, some people protect their ego, and some burn the whole thing down. So now, Spill News family, the question is yours. What do you think really happened? Was this sabotage, ego, bad analytics, or something deeper? Something we still don't know yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over, and trust me, the next chapter is already brewing. If you felt even a spark of frustration watching that collapse, hit that like button. If you believe Sanders deserves better, slam that subscribe button so you never miss the truth the mainstream refuses to say out loud. Because here at Spill News, we don't sugarcoat. We don't sanitize. We don't protect the people in power. We expose them. Stay tuned, because the secrets leaking out of Cleveland right now, they're only getting louder.